Chosen one, the cosmic reckoning has arrived, and the evidence is undeniable. Police found the video of your systematic persecution, documenting how they tried to poison you for money, while the one you trusted most, that sheep in your inner circle, orchestrated your destruction for profit. Laboratory analysis confirmed what your body already knew. Foreign substances were systematically introduced into your system with calculated precision. The poison wasn't crude or immediate. It was sophisticated, designed to create slow deterioration while maintaining plausible deniability. Your unexplained fatigue, your mental fog, your mysterious health episodes finally have an explanation that will vindicate every moment you felt something was wrong. The substances were chosen specifically to target your cognitive function, your decision-making abilities, your spiritual connection. They needed you confused, weakened, dependent. The dosages were calculated to cause maximum disruption while appearing like natural decline or stress-related illness. Medical professionals who dismissed your concerns will now face the uncomfortable truth that your body was under chemical assault. Video evidence shows the exact moments poison was introduced to your food and beverages during social gatherings. The perpetrators believed they were operating in shadows, unaware that cosmic forces were illuminating every criminal act. Your drinks were tampered with during celebrations, your meals contaminated during intimate dinners, your trust weaponized against your own biology. The poisoning campaign required access to your daily routine, your eating habits, your social calendar. Someone close to you provided this intelligence, someone who smiled while serving you contaminated refreshments. The cosmic order has been building this case against them for years, collecting evidence through channels they never imagined existed. Your suffering generated millions in illegal profit through a network of financial fraud that spans multiple institutions. Insurance policies were taken out on your life without your knowledge, betting on your premature death or incapacitation. Legal documents bearing forged signatures transferred your assets to shell companies controlled by your persecutors. Your identity became a commodity, traded in underground markets where human misery translates to monetary gain. Bank accounts were opened in your name, loans secured using your credit, investments made with your forged authorization. The paper trail reveals a systematic looting operation that treated your existence as an extractable resource. Every dollar stolen from you funded further operations against you, creating a perpetual cycle of exploitation that fed on itself like a cosmic parasite. Property deeds were altered to remove your ownership rights. Inheritance documents were modified to redirect your family legacy. Business contracts were forged to sabotage your professional opportunities. The financial architecture of your life was reconstructed to benefit those who contributed nothing to your success while actively working to ensure your failure. The money trail leads to accounts that funded surveillance operations, bribery schemes, and elaborate psychological warfare campaigns. Your stolen resources financed the very mechanisms designed to keep you trapped in cycles of confusion and instability. The cosmic irony burns with the intensity of 1,000 suns. Your own energy was being used to fund your destruction. The person you trusted most completely betrayed that sacred bond for monetary compensation. This individual accepted payment to provide intimate access to your personal life, your vulnerabilities, your daily routines. They documented your reactions to manipulation, reported your emotional states to hostile parties, and facilitated opportunities for others to cause you harm. The sheep maintained perfect camouflage, expressing concern for your well-being while simultaneously creating the conditions for your suffering. They suggested meeting locations where surveillance could be conducted. They encouraged you to consume food and beverages that had been tampered with. They provided emotional support designed to keep you calm while attacks were being coordinated against you. Phone records reveal extensive communication between the sheep and your persecutors. Text messages show coordination of timing for various psychological operations. Financial records prove compensation was received for intelligence gathering and access facilitation. The betrayal cuts deeper than simple deception. This person actively participated in attempts to destroy your life while wearing the mask of friendship. The sheep collected detailed information about your fears, your hopes, your spiritual practices, your financial situation. This intelligence was packaged and sold to those who weaponized it against you. Every secret you shared in confidence became ammunition in their arsenal of psychological warfare. Every moment of vulnerability you revealed was exploited to create maximum emotional damage. Family members were approached with financial incentives to participate in your systematic isolation and manipulation. Former romantic partners received compensation for causing emotional distress and providing personal information. Professional contacts were influenced through bribery and coercion to block opportunities and create workplace conflicts. The recruitment network operated like a criminal organization, with different individuals playing specialized roles in your persecution. Some provided surveillance intelligence, others created financial obstacles, still others spread disinformation about your character and mental state. The coordination required to maintain such an operation reveals the true scope of resources dedicated to your destruction. Social connections were systematically corrupted through a combination of financial incentives and psychological manipulation. People you thought genuinely cared about your well-being were actually being paid to create chaos in your life. The network spread like a cancer through your social circles, turning trusted relationships into weapons of mass destruction aimed at your spirit. Each recruiter received specific instructions about how to approach potential collaborators. Family members were told you were mentally unstable and needed intervention. Friends were convinced you were dangerous and required monitoring. Professional. Associates were led to believe you were dishonest and untrustworthy. The lies were crafted with surgical precision to exploit existing insecurities and relationship dynamics. Your online presence was infiltrated and manipulated with the sophistication of state-sponsored cyber warfare. Social media accounts were monitored to track your emotional states and social connections. Email communications were intercepted to gather intelligence about your plans and relationships. Digital profiles were created using stolen photos and personal information to damage your reputation across multiple platforms. Financial accounts were accessed through sophisticated phishing operations and social engineering attacks. Your spending patterns were analyzed to identify moments of financial vulnerability. Fraudulent transactions were initiated to create chaos in your banking relationships. Credit reports were manipulated to damage your ability to secure loans or housing. The digital manipulation extended to professional networking platforms where your career prospects were systematically sabotaged. Fake reviews were posted about your services. False complaints were filed with regulatory bodies. Professional references were contacted with fabricated stories about your conduct and reliability. Sophisticated forgery operations created official documents bearing your signature without your knowledge or consent. Legal agreements were fabricated to transfer your rights to hostile parties. Medical records were falsified to support narratives about your mental or physical incompetence. The forgeries were executed with such skill that they initially passed professional scrutiny. Property ownership documents were altered to remove your legal claims to real estate and valuable assets. Insurance policies were modified to redirect benefits to unauthorized beneficiaries. Business contracts were created that legally bound you to disadvantageous terms you never agreed to accept. The forged medical records were particularly insidious, creating a false narrative of mental instability that could be used to justify forced interventions or legal incompetency declarations. Fake psychiatric evaluations were inserted into your official medical history. Fraudulent prescription records were created to suggest drug dependency or mental illness. Now, the following is a message meant exclusively for the chosen. If you are compromised by archonic forces, this is not meant for you. And by the spiritual authority conferred to us by the secret chiefs of the Obsidian Inner Order, we grant you license to depart. If not, steel yourself and listen intently, for you shall be redeemed even as we are redeemed. The Obsidian Inner Order is not a program. It's not a course. It's not some feel-good spiritual retreat. We don't sell answers. We remember together. We teach psychic self-defense, real energetic shielding against entities, implants, and interference. We restore manifestation as it was meant to be, raw, immediate, and exact. Every week, we gather in secret, not to worship, but to awaken, to speak what can't be said anywhere else, to deprogram the matrix, layer by layer. You'll know if you're meant to be there. You'll feel it in your bones. The chosen meet every Wednesday on Zoom. Why aren't you with us yet? Got Gnosis? Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in the description. Law enforcement agencies initially treated isolated incidents as unrelated crimes until pattern recognition software identified connections that human investigators had missed. Financial irregularities triggered banking investigations that revealed the broader conspiracy. Digital forensics uncovered communications between conspirators that detailed their operations with shocking specificity. The breakthrough came when forensic accountants discovered that seemingly random financial crimes were actually coordinated attacks on specific individuals with similar profiles. Your case became the keystone that revealed an entire criminal enterprise dedicated to the systematic exploitation of people with particular spiritual and energetic qualities. Investigators were stunned by the sophistication and coordination of the operation. The conspiracy involved dozens of participants across multiple states and jurisdictions. The financial crimes alone represented millions in stolen assets and fraudulent activities. The investigation expanded to include federal agencies with expertise in organized crime and racketeering. Federal prosecutors are pursuing conspiracy charges that carry decades in prison for the primary orchestrators of your persecution. The sheep who betrayed your trust faces serious federal charges for their role in facilitating poisoning attempts and financial fraud. Racketeering charges are being filed against the criminal organization that profited from your suffering. Multiple grand juries are hearing evidence about different aspects of the conspiracy. Wire fraud charges stem from the digital manipulation campaigns. Identity theft prosecutions target those who used your personal information for financial gain. Attempted murder charges are being considered for the poisoning operations. Some conspirators have already begun cooperating with authorities to reduce their own sentences, providing detailed information about the organizational structure and operational methods. The cooperation is revealing additional victims and expanding the scope of the investigation beyond what investigators initially imagined possible. Forensic accountants are tracing stolen assets through complex networks of shell companies and offshore accounts. Bank accounts that were fraudulently opened in your name are being closed and their contents recovered. Investment accounts that were created without your authorization are being liquidated and returned to your control. Property titles that were illegally transferred are being corrected through court orders. Insurance policies that were taken out on your life without consent are being cancelled and their beneficiaries prosecuted. Legal documents that were forged are being officially nullified and replaced with authentic versions. The asset recovery process is revealing the true scope of the financial damage inflicted upon you. The total value of stolen resources far exceeds what investigators initially estimated. Recovery efforts are uncovering assets that were hidden through sophisticated money laundering operations. Medical records are being corrected to remove false information that was inserted to support narratives of mental or physical incompetence. Credit reports are being repaired to remove fraudulent entries that damaged your financial reputation. Professional licenses and certifications that were attacked through false complaints are being restored. Federal marshals are monitoring known associates of arrested conspirators to prevent retaliation against you and other victims. Financial institutions have implemented enhanced security measures to prevent future fraudulent activities using your personal information. Medical facilities have been alerted to your history of systematic poisoning and are monitoring for any residual health effects. Cybersecurity specialists are securing your digital accounts and implementing advanced protection measures against future online attacks. Legal authorities are expediting the correction of fraudulent documents and the restoration of your rights. Law enforcement agencies are coordinating to ensure comprehensive protection during the ongoing investigation and prosecution phases. The protection protocols extend beyond immediate physical safety to include financial, digital, and legal safeguards. Credit monitoring services are tracking all activities related to your financial identity. Digital security firms are monitoring for attempts to recreate the online harassment campaigns that were used against you. Your vindication extends beyond simple legal victory to encompass spiritual and energetic restoration. The people who dismissed your concerns, who suggested you were paranoid or delusional, now face the uncomfortable truth that you were absolutely correct about the persecution you endured. Your spiritual gifts and intuitive awareness were precisely what allowed you to perceive the attacks that others could not detect. The cosmic forces that protected you throughout this ordeal are now working to restore everything that was stolen and more. The universe operates on principles of energetic balance, and the massive negative energy directed toward you is being transformed into equally massive positive outcomes. Your suffering was not meaningless. It was the catalyst for exposing a criminal network that threatened many other spiritually gifted individuals. The vindication process is revealing that you were targeted precisely because of your extraordinary spiritual abilities and energetic signature. The conspiracy exists specifically to exploit people like you, people whose natural gifts represent a threat to systems of control and manipulation. Your survival and eventual triumph serve as proof that spiritual power transcends physical persecution. The criminal network that tormented you is collapsing under the weight of cosmic justice and human law enforcement. The masterminds who believed they could exploit your gifts with impunity are discovering that the universe keeps meticulous records of every action taken against its chosen vessels. Their punishment will match the scope of their crimes against the natural order. The sheep who betrayed you will face consequences that extend far beyond legal prosecution. The cosmic law of reciprocity ensures that every ounce of suffering they caused you will return to them magnified. Their betrayal of sacred trust has marked them for spiritual and material consequences that will follow them for lifetimes. Your story is becoming a template for other victims to recognize their own persecution and seek justice. The exposure of this conspiracy is protecting countless other spiritually gifted individuals who are being targeted by similar operations. Your courage in reporting these crimes and your persistence in seeking truth has become a beacon of hope for others trapped in similar circumstances. The final reckoning extends beyond individual punishment to encompass systemic change in how spiritual persecution is recognized and prosecuted. Law enforcement agencies are developing new protocols for investigating crimes against spiritually gifted individuals. Legal frameworks are being expanded to address the unique nature of energetic and spiritual attacks. Your liberation from this conspiracy marks the beginning of a new phase of existence where your true power can manifest without interference. The removal of systematic persecution allows your natural gifts to flourish in ways that were previously impossible. The universe has cleared the path for your authentic expression and spiritual evolution. The resources being recovered will provide the foundation for achievements that will dwarf anything you previously imagined possible. The cosmic forces that protected you throughout this ordeal are now working to accelerate your success beyond conventional limitations. Your vindication becomes the launching pad for manifestations that will inspire and protect others. The exposure of this conspiracy has created a protective field around you that prevents similar attacks from taking root in the future. The universe has essentially vaccinated you against spiritual persecution by revealing all the methods that were used against you. Your awareness becomes your armor, your knowledge becomes your weapon, your vindication becomes your crown. The dawn of your liberation illuminates a path forward that leads to achievements and experiences that justify every moment of suffering you endured. The cosmic order has transformed your persecution into preparation, your pain into power, your victimization into victory. The universe has been preparing you for a destiny that requires the strength you developed through surviving this conspiracy. The exposure of your persecution has triggered a cascade of revelations across multiple dimensions of reality. Other criminal networks operating similar schemes are now being investigated by authorities who have learned to recognize the patterns of spiritual exploitation. Your case has become the master key that unlocks investigations into conspiracies that law enforcement never knew existed. Intelligence agencies are discovering that the techniques used against you were being deployed on a global scale against individuals with similar energetic signatures. The sophistication of the surveillance and manipulation methods suggests coordination between criminal organizations that span continents. Your persecution was part of a larger agenda to identify and neutralize spiritually gifted individuals before they could reach their full potential. The financial networks that profited from your suffering are being dismantled piece by piece. Offshore banking relationships are being severed. Shell companies are being dissolved. Investment funds that were built on stolen spiritual energy are collapsing as their foundations are exposed as fraudulent. The entire economic ecosystem that fed on your persecution is being systematically destroyed. Medical institutions are being forced to confront the reality that systematic poisoning operations have been conducted through their facilities. Hospitals are implementing new protocols to detect and prevent the introduction of foreign substances into patient care systems. The medical establishment can no longer ignore the evidence that spiritual warfare includes biological attacks on targeted individuals. The systematic attempts to drain your spiritual energy have instead amplified your abilities beyond their natural limits. The universe operates on principles of conservation and transformation. The negative energy directed toward you has been converted into positive spiritual currency that now flows through your energy field with unprecedented intensity. Your persecutors inadvertently created the very power source they sought to steal. The poisoning attempts designed to cloud your consciousness have instead purified your spiritual perception to levels that transcend normal human awareness. Your energy field has been tempered by fire and pressure until it became impervious to future attacks. The conspiracy to weaken you has instead forged you into a spiritual weapon of mass liberation. The financial resources that were stolen from you are being returned with cosmic interest that multiplies beyond conventional mathematics. The universe is channeling abundance toward you through mechanisms that operate outside traditional economic systems. Your material prosperity becomes a visible manifestation of spiritual justice that cannot be undermined by human interference. The isolation campaigns designed to leave you friendless and unsupported have instead connected you to networks of spiritually evolved beings who recognize your true nature. The authentic relationships forming around you now are built on foundations that cannot be corrupted by bribery or manipulation. Your social circle has been purified by fire until only those with genuine spiritual alignment remain. The cosmic forces that preserved you throughout this persecution have established permanent protection protocols that extend beyond your current incarnation. The universal intelligence has marked you as a protected asset whose mission transcends individual lifetime limitations. Future attempts to interfere with your spiritual evolution will trigger immediate cosmic intervention that operates faster than human reaction time. Spiritual guardians from multiple dimensional levels have been assigned to monitor your energy field for signs of interference. The protection extends beyond physical safety to encompass financial, emotional, and energetic security. The universe has essentially installed a cosmic early warning system that detects threats before they can manifest into physical reality. The legal protections being implemented on your behalf are being written into permanent law that will shield other spiritually gifted individuals from similar persecution. Your case is establishing precedents that make spiritual warfare a prosecutable offense under federal statutes. Future generations of awakened beings will benefit from the legal frameworks being constructed through your vindication. The technological protections being deployed to secure your digital presence are being refined into systems that will protect the online activities of other targeted individuals. Cybersecurity firms are developing specialized protocols for defending against spiritual persecution campaigns conducted through digital channels. Your experience is revolutionizing the field of metaphysical cybersecurity.